Unspool is a team of Los Angeles-based entertainment professionals. Each month, the Unspool team creates an entirely unique movie project from start to finish. The movie idea is born during our podcast at the start of each month with our special guests. Once the movie is released online, it is discussed on our wrap-up podcast at the end of the month. Unspool Podcast is available in both audio and video versions. Both can be found at our website, unspool.net. Videocasts can also be found at youtube.com/unspoolpodcast. This is the January 2015 wrap-up with special guest, journalist Daniel Taub.
Welcome back to Unspool. This is our January wrap-up. We have our special guest, Daniel Taub, with us again to discuss the January movie and just to talk about how we did things and if we succeeded.
Whether we succeeded or met his idea and high standards.
Yeah.
We shall see.
I guess so.
Yeah, and we look forward to...
You're looking dapper today.
Oh, thanks. This is... after Milena sort of reprimanded me about how bad I looked for the first 8 podcasts, she said I need to change up my wardrobe. So I joined a wardrobe shipping company called Bombfell, and I have a personal stylist named Sophia that she
What's it called?
Bombfell, and they send me clothes every month.
And Sophia visits all the fashion shows. And
Sophia picked this out for me.
Does she know you're a famous internet celebrity? It's just a shot of your crotch right now.
Wow.
That's not the best advertising for.
Oh, don't do that.
Did they give you the pants too?
Yeah, they sent me the pants, and you keep what you like, and I'm trying to...
Well, now you have to keep this because you've shown it on camera.
Yeah, right. Yeah, can you just have them ship stuff? You try it on and wear it for the podcast and just send it
Wow,
back?
that would be... No. But no, I'm trying to look better for our viewers and Milena, and so she stops criticizing what I wear.
Sure, she appreciates it.
Yeah,
she doesn't give me any crap when I wear shirts like this.
Your Bob Seger concert shirt.
Yeah.
That's all right. I'll get an email saying Sophia is no longer here.
Sophia has resigned her position as Scott's stylist.
And just a little recap, I think you kind of set us to sort of capture Los Angeles without shooting the usual palm trees and signs like the Beverly Hills or the Hollywood sign and that kind of stuff.
Freeways.
Yeah. Right. And then after we talked about how you said Terminator 2 is filmed practically in your backyard in the valley and all that stuff, we went back and we started talking about how there are so many films shot around us that they use Los Angeles, like Pasadena or the Valley, as generic USA, anywhere town USA, and they kind of get away with that. And so we thought, well, why not? We could shoot. There's a little variation on your theme, but why don't we shoot some of our favorite scenes and sort of recreate them since they're around us? In fact, we used an app called Real Estates.
Real Estates, I think.
REEL, and that helped us pinpoint different houses, private houses, people live there, of where different shows were filmed. So we went to the street where The Wonder Years was filmed, and we saw the Winnie Cooper house and
Kevin
Arnold's house. But that app really helped showcase where things were shot. And so we kind of got this idea. Our idea was instead of doing a little narrative, why don't we kind of just go around and show...
I think we aspired to greater things, but showing the locations in everyday environment.
Yeah, the fact that LA has all these different places that you can mask as different things. I'm not trying to spoil things because we've all seen the film, but Don Draper in Mad Men has this beautiful house that it's shot down the street in Pasadena, but it's supposed to look like New York outside of the city, beautiful New York.
It's like Connecticut or something, right?
Yeah,
right.
And so much of Los Angeles, and that's the beauty of Los Angeles, I think, is that that you can fake it as long as you don't have a palm tree in your shot, or you could just mat out the palm tree. But you could E.T. or Terminator 2 or all these different things.
Both of which we had hoped to shoot.
Yeah, I mean,
we're gonna reshoot all of Terminator 2, shot
by shot.
Gus Van Sant.
Yeah.
Psycho. Yeah.
A shot-for-shot remake of
Shot remake of Terminator 2. That's
So-
your next project.
So yeah, that's what we thought, and you've seen the film, and so the January film, and we're about to watch it. But that's what we tried to do with your idea. So
we'll watch it, then we will discuss. We'll see if this works.
all right, ready? So
I think we should change these still. I say that every time.
yeah, we'll change them out. This is all 2014.
Yeah,
Old
that's
school
right.
us.
But we have our first 2015 coming up right here. Where is that?
The Hills of Glendale.
Glendale.
Oh, okay.
I liked that. That was
Ben Stiller's show.
That was my Ben Stiller, tribute.
I
That
like
was
it.
me playing Bob Odenkirk like 40 years ago, whenever that was.
Hello, I'm driving the
great.
Mickey in Burbank. We have decided on some locations
All of our viewers just
that
turned off.
represent
When they heard
No.
Burbank.
I love all of John French's driving cam shots. So
in other famous movies.
Is it GoPro?
I think this might have been iPhone.
probably
I don't
iPhone.
remember. Because I shot GoPro for this, and then I accidentally deleted it.
Yeah. So seriously about the skating, I thought it would just come back to me. It was very weird to be
So
on.
what are we
skates.
doing right here? This is where...
Oh yeah. So I'm putting on skates. I'm gonna recreate the
Back to the Future.
Back to the Future. Was
Because-
this interesting to you at all, Daniel?
Yeah.
I
I think it's kind of like what we talked about last time. I think it's more interesting to people from outside LA, or people who not from LA.
Or if they didn't
No.
know that this is the location.
Right, to know like, oh, this is just a part of the suburbs of Burbank.
But what's weird is that they faked Doc Brown's house.
I would have never known, and like, if I'd never driven down the road.
Right.
And
But like, why is Doc Brown's house connected to Burger King? His trash can's right there. And
I
the
guess they
fence-
needed him to skate into that's literally a Burger King parking lot.
That's really like a Burger
And that's
King.
like I don't understand why.
Is it product placement? Do they have to use Burger King?
Oh, maybe I don't know.
I don't know. And
And Ford.
Little known fact: this building on the right, when he pulls into the street, is a place called Foam Mart. Well, that's Airy, and then there's Foam Mart, where I bought foam for my first couch in LA.
oh wow. And then we went up the street to the Wonder
very,
Years
very
houses.
close by.
Very close by. And we just thought it'd be kind of funny if we.
So just because they're lazy, like what Back to the Future is Universal, right?
Yeah, which is close enough.
And Wonder Years is
And we just went here
Warner
because we were
Brothers or
lazy.
Universal. Or what?
Yeah, what ABC or
Yeah.
Yeah, but who produced it? Then?
I don't know.
Because probably whoever. It's just like 2 miles away or whatever.
Yeah, they probably just needed somewhere close.
Yeah.
Parks and Rec, they shot like basically every exterior right around where I live. It's just they just go close.
Here's a story.
Oh my god,
This is the best.
this is terrible. This is the Brady Bunch house.
He had his camera stuff
So when did they put a fake second story on the
and his
house
baby.
for the?
Mm-hmm.
No, it always looked like this. I mean, it's different color now, but it always looked like
But
this.
there was in the Brady Bunch. There was an
There's
upstairs.
I don't know.
They just
I think in the house it went down, and then there was an upstairs or something.
All right. Now, Daniel, you got to tell us about this mall. 'Cause
well, this mall. So this was recorded in what?
That's like
88
88.
or something. So the Northridge quake in '94 basically destroyed, because that mall is also where they shot Fast Times at Ridgemont
Valley
High.
Girl and Fast Times.
But Fast Times, like all the food court scenes.
Yeah.
It was an enclosed mall, and then the after the earthquake they completely redid it. They
Sherman Oaks Galleria.
yeah, it didn't like the earthquake.
Oh, that's
didn't
it. The movie's
level
over.
the Galleria or anything. It just did damage. So they just redid the mall as like an outdoor mall.
It's a weird place because
Yeah.
it's like a giant parking lot. Then you have to walk 6 miles, and then there's just like a movie theater and a gym and a couple restaurants. It's
And
really
like
weird.
there used to be a Tower Records, but
Yeah.
it's now like
No, it's a
urban home. or
urban
something.
home.
Well,
Yeah.
so you were just mentioning about what the laziness or whatever of like Universal and whatever. So I remember when I first bought my house in North Hollywood, somebody came up to it hadn't. I don't think it had been repainted yet, and the front was all like kind of trashed. I was trying to like regrow the grass and stuff, and it was putting sprinklers and stuff in. And somebody came up and said, I'm casting, or I'm trying to find a house for I think it was CSI Miami. And I'm just
your house?
Yeah, my house.
Oh.
And they said, we'll give you a couple bucks to film here. And I said, that's sweet, thinking like, I just bought this house, and now this guy. And he goes, yeah, we need somebody. This woman's getting arrested because she's like doing crack cocaine or something like that. And I was looking at my house going, it kind of does look like a crack house because it hadn't been painted and the paint was chipping and like there was no like lawn. And he's like, yeah, we just want, because I didn't have any palm trees or anything. So like, he's like, I need it. It needs to look like Miami. Or wherever.
Palm trees would have been fine for my.
I guess so.
So wait, they used it?
But no, they didn't. They didn't end up using it. But I just thought that was really fun. He's like, all we need is to have a woman come out of your house, and she's gonna be in cuffs and being escorted into a police cruiser. And I'm like, okay, so you want somebody who's like dirt ass poor. I was like, that's the house I just
here
bought.
I am. I just did the American dream. I bought my first home, and some guy comes up and is like, we need a shitty, dumpy
when you
house.
get a film shoot of your property, you're hoping they'll like make it nicer, they'll repaint it. And in your case, they just wanted to make it look worse, probably.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they wanted, they were like, he's like, don't do anything to it. It's beautiful.
Like, stop mowing your lawn. If you can, empty your trash into the front yard.
Yeah, and then later I had a guy, he came up and he's like, I'm looking for, probably same at Universal, he said, I want to shoot a beer ad and I want to see your backyard. And I'm like, why do you want to see my backyard? And he's like, well, I was looking at Google Images, so I know what your backyard looks like, and it's huge. And we want to shoot this like a big beer ad for it's like Budweiser or Latino audience or something. So we're just gonna fill it with people, and they're all gonna be like cooking and having a fun party time and stuff. And he came back in my backyard, but I was like, why do you want to see my backyard? Like, kind of weird, but. I said, sure, check it out, because you're not coming into my house, but you're just checking out. So he took a bunch of pictures and never got back to me, but I just thought that was really, really funny. And,
wow.
And at that time, like, I had already lived there for a while, so just kind of. But it's like the same thing we were just saying, like they just wanted to come down the streets, not drive far, just have the trucks come down the street. Oh, and they were going to film at Circus Liquor, I think. Oh, yeah. So they're doing a Circus Liquor.
I should have banned Circus Liquor from your shoots too, because
you did, I think.
It's been used so much.
Yes.
Yeah.
But they were going to shoot there inside, and I did think I saw them later on, like in that month, shooting there, and then they're going to come down the street and shoot at my place after that. So shoot like them getting the beer followed by the party. So it's kind of cool. Like it's they just don't want to drive far. It's probably more convenient to do that.
I think Circus Liquor makes more money on shoots than they do on actually selling alcohol.
Yeah,
I bet it's 50-50 actually.
Yeah, because there's a near my work there's Johnny's, that old like 50s style diner, that googie architecture diner that is not even, it's owned by 99-cent only stores because the same parking lot is one of those stores. It hasn't been a restaurant in probably 15 years.
But they keep it because it looks like...
Yeah, they don't even shoot that much. I mean, they shot Big Lebowski there and a few other movies, but they don't even shoot that much there anymore. It's like a parking lot of a store, so they just keep it for film shoots. But
wow, and they probably make money.
There's a lot of buildings like that in Los Angeles. There's the old Herald Examiner building downtown. They use only for film shoots. I mean, LA has a big enough film economy. You can have buildings that do nothing but do like a film shoot once every 6 months, and it's fine.
We wanted to shoot for this one at the...
Yes, the
Bradbury
building.
Yeah, and but I just want to get bothered by. I know
just like the studios, we got lazy. We got to stay close to home.
Yeah.
Well, Bradbury, they're pretty strict there too. They don't let you.
We would have probably had to sneak in.
In fact, if you started filming, they might stop you.
I was stopped by security at the Sherman Oaks Galleria during.
Oh, really?
Your free falling shoot.
Yeah.
So the mall that the free falling part was doesn't exist.
Yeah, it just was redone. I mean, it's not.
Okay.
So back then, it
was a huge mall, right?
It was a huge mall, and it was. So I think the most famous use of the movie was in Fast Times at Ridgemont High. So you remember that movie? Like the one kid works at the movie theater, and the girl who's interested in works at the food court. So all those food court movie theater scenes are all in the Galleria, Sherman Oaks Galleria. But that's not it. After the Northridge earthquake, they redid it. So it's now like this quasi outdoor.
Was it damaged, or they just wanted to?
I think it was damaged, but it wasn't. They could have redone it, but back then enclosed malls were like the normal thing.
Mm-hmm.
But this the Northridge earthquake was in '94, and into the '90s, outdoor malls.
It was sort of like closed down for the longest, and then it reopened in like 2002 or something.
Now it's kind of this weird mall where it's like part office building, part.
I worked in there. For my last show.
It's didn't Warner Brothers have space there?
They did, yeah. Animation, I think, is still there, maybe.
So it's kind of weird. It's not really what it was. But back then, when they made that video and shot movies there, it was just a normal old-fashioned mall. So.
I don't know if you know, is Terminator 2, they're like, where is he? He's at the Galleria. The Galleria, is it that Galleria? Was it filmed there, or is it just supposed to take place at that mall? Because when we were looking up things for this, it seemed like that was filmed at a mall in Northridge. Closer to...
It could have been the Northridge Mall, where I worked, that place is really damaged by the earthquake.
Okay, yeah, sure, I bet.
And they shot there, too, but it wasn't like the landmark that Sherman Oaks Galleria was. It was like more of a well-known thing. Other malls, they just shot them as generic malls. Mm-hmm. So,
and we had speaking of Terminator, we had planned to go to the just because of the conversation on the podcast where the truck drove through. We were going to go to that intersection.
It's
and
deep in the valley there.
Grab a shot. Again, it was too. We couldn't make it in the one day we had allotted for shooting, and then we probably could have gone back. And then we wanted to do that, and also a couple of different ET locations, but one's over here and one's way over here. We wanted to do the Elliot's house and then also the bike ride playground.
Where's Elliot's house? That Chatsworth?
No, that's the other direction past.
Was the bike ride Chatsworth, or was that?
That's like North Hills-ish.
Okay. That's my neighborhood. That was where I grew up also.
And there are people online that have completely reshot, shot for shot, to show you
much better than we did.
How things have changed and made it.
Right.
Someone the Burger King Back to the Future one that we first referenced, the guy did it in like a full Marty outfit and like he did it on a skateboard and
got that fluffy vest.
Yeah, but so I mean, it's something. It's
I feel like maybe we let you down a little bit. It's not a full execution.
Look, if I was Lars von Trier in the Five Obstructions, I'd send you back and make you do it over again. No, I think it's an interesting take because, what I was suggesting was you kind of went in a different direction, which is fine. I was sort of thinking, how do you show LA as Los Angeles but without any of the landmarks? But what you did was you showed how LA has been a stand-in for Anywhere USA in like all these TV shows and movies,
right?
Which is fine too, because look, there's the LA that we all live in, and there's sort of the LA of the imagination, right?
Mm-hmm. Which
LA is such a weird place that it's all kind of one thing, right? We both have our imaginary LA, and it's kind of layered on top of the real LA. And of course, we don't really respect history here. We tear down buildings left and right and redo them and whatever. I mean, it's actually surprising you were able to find like that Burger King was still a Burger King all these years later.
Yeah. But it's funny, like when I'd driven by the Brady Bunch house before, just when someone was like, "Let me show you where it was." That was years ago. And then when we thought about it for this, I didn't remember exactly where it was. And you're just driving down the street, and then holy shit! There it is. That's the Brady Bunch house. Like it's a different color, They put different stuff on the front, but it's just still there. It's just someone lives there.
What's funny is
there's not like any plaque or anything in the yard. It's just a house,
this week
house.
There was a story in the LA Times about this plaque dedication at Max Sennett Studios. Max Sennett was the guy who did all the Keystone Cops movies and Charlie Chaplin and Fatty Arbuckle, like all these early silent films. And that is now part of a public storage facility. The actual studio building is now just, you can have lockers in there to store your old furniture or whatever.
Oh, wow.
And so you drive by, it's in Echo Park area. So if you're driving up to the 2 freeway from Sunset, you see this like public storage facility. It's like, another public storage. But you look closely, and one of these buildings looks like an old-timey movie studio, like a silent, one of the airplane hangar looking buildings. It's like, if you know where to look for, you're like, that's actually the Max Sennett studio. So, I mean, my point is like, these things are hidden all over Los Angeles, and these places are film history landmarks, but they're now just either changed or redone or...
Well, you have to use it. You can't just use it, let it be vacant.
Yeah, it's like...
Right, and that's actually one of the more interesting uses. It's actually take something which... There's no film studios in Echo Park anymore, so they can't use it for that, but at least they're keeping the structure, and it's still there, and there's a plaque on it, and you're respecting the history to some degree.
Mhm.
It's better than just tearing it down and starting from scratch.
Yeah, you
which
can't
is-
leave like an empty building and say like, well, that was used for a movie.
Right.
Let's move on.
Right.
Well, like they were saying that the Bradbury building, I guess, was in disarray and completely trashed. And when they wanted to shoot with Blade Runner, they didn't have to do much work at all to make it look run down because it was
Just like your North Hollywood house, apparently.
Yeah, like they sought after my North Hollywood house because it looked like a crack dealer was there, and so.
Well, the Bradbury building has been redone. It's beautiful.
It's beautiful, but it's interesting to see how things kind of cycle like that, and how people take interest in different things, or if it's some famous landmark and
houses tend to stick around longer. I mean,
Mhm.
it's a house; it'll just get maybe they'll put a second
Redone
story on
or
something.
yeah.
But, yeah. So that's not surprising. The Brady Bunch house is still there. It was just a normal suburban house on a suburban street.
Yeah, it's so funny because like you spend your youth watching that, you see it every day, and like I think the day after we've shot it, or it was like right around the Super Bowl, and there was that new Brady Bunch commercial during the Super Bowl, and I was like, I was just there. Like it's so weird.
And the
Herald Examiner building.
I've shot a bunch of stuff there,
Uh-huh.
and they have different sets, permanent sets there. That like there's a bar and there's a cop area, and people just kind of reuse it for. They don't tear it down. They keep shooting the cop stuff in the cop area and the whatever,
Right.
and it's fun. And sometimes I'll see it in commercials. In fact, Always Sunny in Philadelphia, they use that bar there, and so every time I see that show, I'm like, I was there.
Is it the Patties or whatever? The bar?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure, because they'll shoot other places that I'm like, I'm pretty sure that they're at the Herald Examiner because I was there like 6 months before shooting something in that area. So they've got a hospital area and all that stuff.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, I mean, LA, it's harder because LA's history is so much shorter. I mean, at least
that's true.
The part we live in, and it's there's this. They're trying to tear down the Norm's coffee shop on La Cienega, which is only 50, 60 years old. It's not exactly ancient, but it's this landmark of Googie architecture. Googie was that sort of extreme swooping Jetson style.
I love it.
Architecture, and it's a great building, but I mean, for now it's like temporarily protected, but it could still be torn down in like 6 months, and it'll just be gone. And so what do you do? I mean, it's like you could put another restaurant in there. I mean, you could find another use for it, but people don't want to do that. They just want to it's a really valuable piece of land. Let's get rid of that building and build something that's
that is part of the issue. Is there's so much money in that land. It's worth more than the building or like the look of the building. So what do you do?
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Technically, what was our process with this? So you and I basically shot for one day, and I did a couple pickups. One day, I think you did too.
Yeah, we shot. Well, my favorite go-to is the Blackmagic camera. So we had a Blackmagic on a I don't know what the free fall and stuff is on a tripod.
No, I put it on a monopod.
Because
I thought a tripod would be too get too much attention going through the gallery.
And then
monopod was also attention grabbing.
The Back to the Future shot you just did handheld.
Yeah, that's grip. A wobbly shot. Why did you say you use that one? Because there was a more stabilized one.
Oh, because that was you couldn't get a sense of where the Doc Brown house was. This was more like you moved into the center of the entrance to like.
I remember
the other
trying
one,
to line up.
Hiding. You were hiding and.
I remember as we shot it, I had on my phone a reference of the final frame, so I was trying to get to a place where I could line up the final frame. But yeah, then maybe
it doesn't matter. It goes fast.
I know it's wobbly.
And then we shot a lot of iPhone stuff with it, just like kind of turned on us, kind of selfie stuff where we just talked to the camera, like him in his car and shooting me, putting my skates on and stuff like that. Just to add some background vibe to, so people kind of get a feel of.
And we split up in the middle of the day, and then I had gone to go try to shoot. The hardest part for me about this is that because they are just like people's houses,
right?
I was really self-conscious about invading their
private space. Like as we were trying to do the Wonder Years house, the guy kept coming out of his car to like
the owner of the house, yeah.
And we were just like, hanging out there, like, and then he would walk out, and Scott and I would be like, and would just turn and like walk back towards our car a little bit, and then he'd go inside, would just like start walking back.
Yeah, not our proudest moment, because I don't like that. I don't like to invade people's privacy. It's their house. They have no like. They're not invested in
they probably get
fame
some
and fortune.
Jerk once a week driving by.
Yeah, it's just a house, but it has some sort of pop culture reference that is why we went to those houses.
Right.
And I'm sure they know buying the Brady Bunch house that it is the Brady Bunch house.
Sure. Yeah.
The exterior is just the Brady. That's just the exterior, but people respond to that.
Yeah.
But
I had tried to shoot a couple other places too, and like I got like we tried to shoot the Pee Wee Herman house from Pee Wee's Big Adventure, but like there were people hanging out on their porch, and I got really self-conscious and just didn't do it because
like you were saying. Sometimes it's like we're both not the kind of people that just sort of like get in people's faces and get it regardless and.
Well, it's funny because I mean, to some degree, like the houses you showed in your film are just their normal suburban houses. There's nothing special about them at all. I mean, I don't know if you happen to own the Wonder Years one, and Warner Brothers or whoever it was comes to you and says, "Hey, we want to shoot your house for the opening sequence of the show. Do you mind?" And like, yeah, whatever. That show could have gone off the air after one day.
Maybe no one ever notices, or maybe it becomes like a piece of pop culture.
But in that case, it became like part of people's childhoods.
Yeah.
And now they're coming by and looking at the house. So, every story is different, obviously. But
what if your house from CSI became like the most famous CSI
like
scene?
The crack dealer became a central character.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
And like, there's a house right by us. There's that new show, I don't know what network it's on, where Katherine Heigl is a secret. It's like State of Affairs or some show. I don't know. Anyway, like I'm coming home one night. It's one street over, but like the street, you could tell the other street was just like lit up, looked like a football stadium. So it's like shit, they're shooting something. So we took the dog. We went over there. Like, what are you guys shooting? And they were shooting that State of Affairs show. Never watched the show. I don't know anything about it. Literally every time we walk the dog by that house, we're like, oh, there's that famous house from State. But like, I'm sure it was used for like one exterior shot. Like but in our minds, like you were saying, by virtue of just being filmed and put on television, it becomes like that famous house that
or like, I mean, where they broke through the river in Terminator 2, it's like it's nothing. I mean, there's
it's just
every
like
intersection that whole area has, I mean, you have to cross over the LA River, right? So it could have been any of those places, but it just happens to be that one, and there's nothing special about it except they got the permit and it worked for the
by a fluke that became like a popular movie and an iconic scene in a popular movie. It could have easily just been a dud movie, and
not Terminator
2, but
that one they knew was going to be good. But yeah, I mean, if it's the Wonder Years, the Wonder Years could have been canceled after 3 episodes.
But just to say, that street, when we were looking at the houses, all the houses look the same.
Right.
They're all that
they're just trash
40s,
houses,
50s,
right?
yeah.
Made post World War II, built, like just probably every fourth house is the same floor plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing special about them at all. And I'm sure the Brady Bunch house the same way. It's just a generic suburban house,
That's exactly the exterior they needed, yeah.
Right.
So,
and they picked those because they could be anywhere. I mean, I don't know where Brady Bunch is supposed to take place, but I don't think it was identified as L.A., right? It was
I don't know. I don't think so.
Any town USA, like you said earlier.
But yeah, it kind of opened my eyes, especially looking at that real estates.
Real estates.
Yeah,
pretty sure.
Looking at that app, and seeing that there's so much being filmed around us, and of course there is, because there's so much filmmaking going on.
Right.
And it's fun,
I'm
kind
sure
of fun to
privacy
look
lawsuit
at.
Coming.
Yeah, and fun to look at, and just kind of fun to think about how things are shot these days, and how we put value on things that we've seen in movies that are just normal properties. And
to bring it back to the Future, I'd seen that movie 100 times, but when we were there shooting it, it was like, how? Because now that you're really analyzing it, because you're like, wait, he's literally just skating out of a fake wall in a Burger King parking lot. Like when you start looking closer at it, like they just They
then
make anything.
I'm like thinking, did they do that on purpose because they're like, oh, Doc Brown lives at a Burger King, and that's part of the humor?
Maybe it's a joke, or
like nobody will notice, or
I mean, I'm sure that's just where they got like a street closure permit for a couple hours some morning. It probably boils down to some really lame detail.
But when you really think about it, it leads us into the Universal lot. The next shot is done that those Main Street Square that's on the lot there where the lightning strikes and all that stuff. But so this shot gets us into that. It's one of the very few shots that's out of the streets, on location. But
and that's him doing that stunt too, right?
Yeah,
that's Michael J. Fox grabbing onto that truck.
But
could have been hurt.
Yeah, it could have been
hit by a car like me. But yeah, it was kind of interesting to see that they just decided like that we're gonna put him in the Burger King parking lot, and then now I'm thinking like, well, but then when he goes back in time, and I'm trying to think,
how come it's not a Burger King?
Doc Brown's house was.
His house is actually what do you call it? It's in Pasadena. Doc Brown's house in 1955.
So then in 1955, he has the same house. Does that mean that Burger King decided to build up around Doc Brown's house?
Now I think you're just looking too much into it.
Well, or is that the point? Is that how you show the passage of time?
Oh, yeah, maybe.
It was like the area was undeveloped at that time, and then flash for the future, and it's like suburbia is all built up around him. And
Toys R Us and Burger King
and all that is around him.
Film Mart.
Maybe so then.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't seen the movie in a while.
Yeah, it's filmmakers. Yeah. They're Robert Zemeckis. They're smarter than us. So. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But
what was his last hit though?
He made that Denzel Washington Airplane movie, right?
There you go. Okay, so he's still making movies.
Still making great movies.
You got to give him some credit for Roger Rabbit and Back to the Future. Those are some
Back to the Future is one of my
classics.
One of my favorite movies. Of my
Don't
childhood.
care for those animated CG Tom Hanks things. Those are.
But he did.
Castaway, which is just okay.
Yeah, Forrest Gump. He did Forrest Gump, amazing.
But a lot of creative effects work in that movie.
He did What Lies Beneath.
Actually, he's a effects trailblazer, really, because Roger Rabbit, Back to the Future, especially, and Forrest Gump, especially, like crazy effects work.
Yeah.
But anyway, I hope you enjoyed our
I did
stuff that we put together, and I really appreciate you coming on and. I hope you continue to be our super fan and.
Well, I'm trying to line up future guests for you.
That's great. Yeah. You're starting to be our booker.
We need all the help we can get.
So
through the 3 people I've ever met in Hollywood.
Yeah.
We'll use all of them.
Thank you, Daniel.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah,
anything you want to plug or say, or?
I got nothing to plug. I'll plug the Unspool podcast.
Oh, all right.
Yeah,
we'll take
for it on YouTubes and internets and Instagrams and I don't know. You guys
all
have
that
everything.
Good stuff. Yeah. I got nothing. Caesar 911 9 p.m. Nat Geographic Wild. What is that bad? Can I didn't plug that.
What are you plugging? What is it?
Caesar 911 National Geographic Wild 9 p.m. Fridays.
Are we sending people to TV or are we sending them to the
Unspool
website?
Sorry, I don't want to plug that at all.
Wow.
I would like to plug unspool.net and Facebook Unspool Podcast, Twitter Unspool Podcast. And actually there's a lot of bonus scenes and stuff from this month's episode up there.
But thank you, Daniel.
Thank you, Daniel.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me on.
And let's continue on and do our February.
February and March and onward and upward.
Yes.
So
cool. Clink.
Thank you.
Clink. Cheers.
Clink.
To Unspool.
Yay, Unspool. Well, that was just the plug there at the end.
Unspool Podcast is available in both audio and video versions. Both can be found at our website, unspool.net. Videocasts can also be found at youtube.com/unspoolpodcast. Find us online, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Google+, YouTube at Unspool Podcast. And watch our completed movies at unspool.net or vimeo.com/unspool. Email podcast@unspool.net. Unspool is produced by John French and Scott Zarzicki and is a Frenchico Entertainment production.